Hey, Tommy Laureen was just on. Tommy Laureen? How you say it?
Tommy Lauren?
How you say it? Lauren?
Yeah, I think
Laureen?
so. Yeah. Lauren? Yeah, what about her?
Did you say?
She was on. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Did I need to elaborate on that?
We're just pointing out blondes. Okay.
There are worse things you could do with your life.
No. I'm down with that.
And we're back with more exciting adventures of the Incredible Dr. Pepper. I mean, Hokes. I'm Chris.
I am Mark.
Oh, not Dr. Pepper. It's RC.
Shameless cherry RC plug.
Can I just say something about sodas? Like, I'm not supposed to be drinking them, but this is an opinion I've had for a while before I was not supposed to be drinking them. RC is the best soda now in the market, in my opinion. Cherry and regular.
Wow.
Like, I don't know, like Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coke, I like them all. I'm that guy that likes them all. I'm not that guy that's like, oh, I only drink Coke or whatever. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy at all. But having drinking them all, RC and Cherry RC, hands down, are the best mass-produced, national sodas on the market, period. They're like the clean taste, sweetness, all of it. Just good. Just tastes good.
Yeah.
It's hands down better. The only wish I had would be that you can get them readily more available in glass bottle, but it's like hard to find, really hard to find. Because I'm a glass bottle fan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of RC products, so certainly one of my favorites. I like the Imperial Sugar Dr. Pepper. Or Heritage Dr. Pepper. It's really good, but it's really Dublin Dr. Pepper. But legally, I can't say that.
But you can, because you can do what you want.
But yeah.
You can say
so there you go.
You
Dublin Dr. Pepper. Take that, big corporation.
Yeah, that was a snafu on their part. They should have embraced that better. They should have all benefited better than they did.
Yeah, why not just...
Yeah. That was horse poop. All right. Why don't movies or anything? I think movies really...
Yeah, we're focusing on movies.
Why don't movies work anymore? Even like major ones. Why don't they work anymore? We've been talking about this. So we're around the end of 18, we talked about how and maybe I was on that kick more than you, I don't know. But I'm kind of tired of media. I'm just sick of it. It's like the movies, I can't... I didn't see a movie from The Mule at the theater. I didn't see a movie at the theater from The Mule all the way to Dumbo. And for me, and Dumbo was out 3 weeks before I got around to seeing it. And for me, that's unheard of. Usually I go to a couple movies a month.
Right.
And I took, and there were some movies I wanted to see. I wanted to see, not Split, Glass. I wanted to see Glass, and there's every few little things I wanted to see, but I was like, screw it. I mean, I never got around to seeing Star is Born. I still haven't seen it. I haven't watched Green Book. There's a bunch of stuff. I don't care. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
But one of the big reasons is I watch them and it's just, I guess I've seen so much content, I'm just like, just doesn't work for me. Captain Marvel I haven't seen. I'll get to it around. Avengers is coming out next week? Or this week?
Soon.
It's the 18th, so it's next week. So I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not watching it that Thursday. I'm not going to fight a crowd to go watch it. It's 3 hours long. I'm
going in there with pitchforks, baby. Front row.
So why don't these movies work anymore? What's changed? What's changed? Fundamentally.
Yeah.
Not just the theater experience. No, don't give me that shit. Story-wise, product-wise, what's changed? What's not working? Why do I not care?
Yeah, because, it's like a malaise of storytelling, That's at least our response, is we find ourselves in this kind of a malaise, is how we're receiving the stories they're telling. And so much of it is the death of the auteur, people who are truly meant to direct or truly meant to write stories. People that, I want to do that. There's a lot of people making records because they want to sing. Oh, I want to sing. Yeah, well, but you've got mediocre talent. There's a lot of people on the radio. They might have a hit, but you're still a mediocre talent. There's a lot of that going on. And when you have, especially now with the streaming wars, there's now a big fight for content. So so the problem is even more exacerbated. You got all these people in the industry making product, but it's about making it and getting it done, and the same care that used to be put in things is not there anymore, and it's starting to show.
Well, back to the streaming, it's not just a race to get content out. They're now starting to fight over audiences. I don't know if you saw, just like today or yesterday or something, like the DC streaming service for the Marvel, the DC Marvel, or not DC Marvel, shit. The DC Universe streaming app is in trouble because they were shooting the Swamp Thing series that was supposed to go like 13 episodes, and they've halted production. They're rewriting it to make it go 10 and just shut it down. Because apparently they have 2 original series to go on the app or the streaming service, and the rest of it is like cartoons and I guess like the CW type stuff, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have it, so I'm just guessing what else is on there. So not enough people are seeing enough value there to jack with it, so they're not getting enough subscribers. And plus the DC universe is kind of weak in comparison to the Marvel one because the movies haven't done as well.
Right.
Then they have their own selves to blame for a lot of that. Like, they have this hit show with the Flash, and what do? They hire a different Flash for the fucking movie. I'm like, you had your chance. You could have put that Flash in the fucking movie.
They could have tied that in together.
Oh, well,
yeah, that's a very good point.
Screwed that up.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's streaming. So there's not just they're not just hurting for content and trying to mass reduce it, but now they're fighting over. There's too many services. You're fixing to have Apple on board. You're fixing to have Disney on board. Mm-hmm. It's at some point the cord cutters who cut the cord to save money are not saving any money because you have to get. Well, I watch this show. Well, I gotta get Disney Plus. Well, I watch this show. Well, I gotta get Apple's. Well, I watch this show. I'm fortunate that I can kind of afford to add a couple more, and I'll be fine. But at some point, even I would be like, Jesus Christ, enough's enough with this crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway.
Well, I think would it be fair to say that Marvel has the power of Disney, or will when that
Disney
takes off?
In fact, if you look at the Disney Plus website, it lists like the properties and like Star Wars, Marvel, of course Disney, Pixar, etc., etc.
Yeah, because DC is supposed to be Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
So Warner Brothers, you need to start showing your A game.
Well, because
Warner Brothers should have plenty of content they could.
Well, yeah, make it a Warner streaming service, not a DC streaming service.
Right, that's just too small.
But I guess
you could hope to compete.
But maybe they can't compete because HBO is also Time Warner, and they don't want HBO's streaming to compete with Warner streaming. Maybe that's the thought. Because HBO is Time Warner as well as Warner.
I think you raised a good point with all these different.
We got way off the subject. By the way.
Yeah.
Why? Here's one of the things. No, I lost my train of thought, but so one of the things that is, I think, a fundamental issue with Raw. We could just cut that out and make it a streaming rant.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
One of the fundamental problems with movies today goes back to when we were kids. So compare it to the 80s versus now. Indiana Jones, from the first scene, he's Indiana Jones. He's a badass. First thing you see him do is take the whip and take it out of the guy's hand in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Mm-hmm. Okay? First freaking frame, he's Indiana Jones. James Bond movies, first scene of the movie, he's James Bond. Right?
Right.
First scene in Star Wars, Darth Vader is Darth Vader. He's a badass.
Yep.
Today's movie is to create an origin story and something becoming something, but it never gets to a goal. Like, it was one of my really hard problems with Harry Potter, and the reason I abandoned watching it. And if later movies they resolved it, I wouldn't fucking know because I quit. But he was always, Harry Potter, you're gonna be amazing. 3 movies later, you're gonna be amazing. You're the one, Harry Potter. It's like, at some point he has to become that.
Right.
Star Trek. I think an even better example. This new Star Trek movies with that J.J. Abrams started. Even in the third one, we're still becoming the Star Trek group you know and love. The Enterprise is still being, the kinks are still being worked out with the Enterprise.
Right.
The beauty of the Star Trek team from the 80s movies, they were already a team and they worked together.
Right.
You just enjoyed the movie. You enjoyed the plot of that adventure.
They got about the business at hand.
Yes.
And you don't have that anymore.
No.
It's all about kind of backing up, and the style is, well, isn't it more interesting to get up close to the characters? And like, well, somehow I think your motive was admirable, but you failed to get there. You know, the idea of, well, we want action heroes who are more fleshed out, or more well-rounded, and you know, that kind of thing. It's like, well, I think you can do that, but somewhere on the way the balance is tipped. They work so much on characterization and working all that stuff out. They never get on with an adventure. And that is lost.
And that's another reason why movies are 3 freaking hours and 2.5 hours all the damn time. You know, it's a blessing when you get a movie that's like, you look at it, it's always in minutes. You know, when I see like 119 minutes, I'm like, oh God, thank you, Jesus. You know,
yeah, you don't see that much.
Or 110 minutes, you're like, oh, thank you, Lord, it's 110 minutes. Praise Jesus.
There was an action movie I recently saw. It was like 2:10. Yeah, 2 hours 10 minutes.
That's over 3 hours.
And no, 2 hours. I said it wrong. 2 hours 10 minutes.
Okay. I think you said 2 hours 10 minutes.
I tried to
gotcha.
restate it. Anyway, 2 hours 10 minutes, and I was like, for nowadays, that's actually, thank God.
That's conservative.
You know, that's conservative. It's not 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Avengers. I looked up on IMDb. The new Avengers is 3 hours.
Yeah.
The rumor is the new Star Wars will be 3 hours. That's the rumor.
Okay.
That's the rumor.
Wow.
I'm not looking forward to either one of those. I mean, I can't take Jude, who's 6 to 3 hour movies. I can't do that. I mean, he can't.
That's a lot.
He can't. Dumbo was like 2 hours 5 minutes or something. I mean, at some point he was kind of like, I mean, he's a kid, you know. So like, I don't know how that works.
Well, in terms of the malaise and these stories not connecting with us, I know we've gotten older, and I think that plays a factor to some degree. I've told friends this. I said that they'll ask about like my favorite TV show, and I always tell them Friends, and my answer is because I'll never care about a show that much ever again.
Okay.
That's why it's still number one. I'm sure you could list probably maybe 24 shows that you could say, make arguments that are better than Friends. But I'll never, you know, that was just that time during the 90s. It was like that, and we were growing up together. I felt like with those characters on that show, and in Star Wars in many ways, there's probably no franchise I'll ever care that much about ever again. And once you kind of get to that point, and you watch other stuff, it just, you know, that plays a role.
Yeah.
You're not caring as much, or it not grabbing you as much.
Right. I think the length of movies affects it. I think of the structure in terms of like, you know, they keep it coming and we don't get to the business thing.
Shameless promo.
I think that goes back to like plot outlining. You know, so many movies are aimless now. They have their plot outlining is too unconventional. It's too, you know, I mean, it helps us. You know, sometimes it's good to see a 3-act movie. It's enjoyable.
By the
to watch
way,
just a regular old 3-act movie.
This is a good.
Fury Road was amazing. Why? It's just a regular old 3-act structured movie.
Well, it was that. This is a good time to interject. Save the Cat.
Yeah.
Movies are so formulaic nowadays, and there's a book, Save the Cat,
right.
and it suggested certain like plot tricks and
by the page. So okay,
things you could do.
Yeah.
It was meant as a screenwriting help tool, guideline, but not as a Bible. But it's been supposedly it's been adopted into like a Bible of sorts by screenwriters.
So the backstory on this is there was a book by this famous writer, screenplay guy. His name was Sid Field. He wrote a book called Screenplay, and it was 70s or early 80s, somewhere in there. It was the book I read when I was in my early teens, maybe 10 or 11 or 12, maybe 12, 11 or 12, somewhere in there I read it. And it was kind of the Bible for screenwriting for a lot of years. It still is in my book. It basically introduced 3-act structure, and within each act you have a 3-act structure. So Act 1 is the beginning, Act 2 the middle, Act 3 the end, and inside of Act 1, 2, and 3 is a beginning, middle, and end. And that's basically, so your first 10 pages of a 120-page script for a 2-hour movie, your first act is 30 pages, your second act 60, third act 30 again. And you would go, for the first 10 pages would be crucial to setting up the story quickly, took a lot of work to manipulate the story, etc., 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 etc. A lot of your movies from the 70s, 80s will follow this formula, and it's a really good formula, and it's really easy to follow. Star Wars follows that formula, Raiders of the Lost Ark follows that formula. Chinatown is a famous screenplay that's even referred to in screenplay that follows that formula. So in the last 20 years, give or take, this new formula came about, and it's called Save the Cat, because there's a story that George Clooney, when he was reading ER, he didn't like it at first. He didn't want to do the role, but because he's kind of an asshole character. I never watched ER. I'm just going by what I've read. He's kind of this asshole, like not likable guy. But in some episode, I don't know if it was the pilot or what, as he read it, his character saved the cat, and that element of saving the cat told you there was more to this character. He had a softer side that could be explored. He wasn't all bad. He wasn't all just this asshole character.
Right.
That was taken and ran with. So they started. That has been used over and over again. You'll see a movie where like somebody's this real a-hole, but they held the door open for the little lady, or they're a real a-hole, but they let that guy go. That cop that let that one guy go. You know what I mean? To show like, hey, I can relate to him. He's a good guy. Right. And then it was taken even more beyond that formula. Like he was saying, is like, and so instead of 3-act structure, you're doing it literally by page 5. This should happen. Page 18. This should happen. On down for page by page within a 120-page script. That formula is being used now, and it's being overused. So that's the reason why so many movies you see almost kind of blur together, because they're all hit these same points.
Right. So
you're not getting all the content. So look at Force Awakens. We're getting really in the weeds now. I don't know if this is okay or not. So we're getting high nerd.
Well, I mean,
shit
I think they get the point. If you want
to wrap it up with this, so if you look at Force Awakens versus the first Star Wars: A New Hope, Force Awakens, I have no fucking clue what the goal is of the First Order. I guess take over the galaxy. It's not really that clear. I don't know. I think it's take over the galaxy. It's not really stated. They want to bring order to the galaxy. There's a scene where Hokes, or whatever his name, gives a Nazi speech to the guys, and they all go,
yeah.
But, Kylo Ren's motivations are unclear. We don't know exactly what he wants to do. We only know where he fits into all this. Is he the second in command? Is he... What the fuck is he? So it has this ambiguity that, man, look at Rey's character. She's just like this poor lost soul on this planet scavenging. But what does she do? Introduction-wise? Well, she saves BB-8. So she saved the cat.
Right.
So, but you look at A New Hope, 3-act structure, clear, really clear villain. The villain's introduced first, before the protagonist even.
Right.
Everyone has clear goals. Everything's clear. You know what the bad guys need to do. You know what the good guys need to do. And you can't really spell it out in some of these other movies, not just Star Wars, but other movies.
Right.
So that's the difference. Like I said, we got into the weeds here. We got into some real fundamentals talk here. So anyway, there's a difference there structurally.
Yeah, I think what happens is Yeah.
Good God, that was like. Was that any good to even hear? I don't even know.
It'll all be fixed in the edit. And
Fix it in post.
well, but it's important to note that if you have, in an industry where all the screen or a large percentage of your screenwriters, your writers, are sitting there following this same formula, you will notice it after a while. Certain and the big thing is don't tell us, show us, and that was something that Sid Field was trying to get across with his guide. Problem is when everyone if everyone's using the same example though to show us, it starts to lose its meaning, and that's the problem.
A better example in Star Wars is Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I mean, I don't know where in the fuck they got off with this humanoid guy that wants to like introduce this perfect killing machine species, and I couldn't tell you the plot of either fucking movie. Whereas Aliens, it was very clear. Yeah, a colony that's built on a planet with aliens, and they lost contact with it. We need to go see what happened. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the plot.
That's the plot.
Prometheus, I have no fucking clue. Alien Covenant, I don't really have any fucking clue either. They're so muddy and so convoluted.
Yeah, and when you have
got no clue.
And you have like 3 different characters in both movies. They have 3 different stories and 3 different agendas.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous
mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. I have no idea what's going on. All right. We got into the weeds. This was like tech talk or something.
Yeah. We'll fix it in post.
All right. We'll just see you in post then, buddy. I do.